A Ukrainian FPV drone moved in to strike the location where a Russian soldier was hiding. Believing himself to be completely concealed among the bushes and vegetation, the soldier remained where he was, thinking he would not be seen. The FPV drone rapidly advanced toward his position and struck him directly. However, purely by chance, the drone did not explode upon impact. The Russian soldier believed he had disabled the unmanned aerial vehicle by breaking its propellers after it fell on him. Thinking the threat was over, he immediately tried to hide again. However, the drone was remotely detonated and the soldier did not survive. In the Zaporizhzhia region, west of the village of Robotyne, FPV operators destroyed a Russian BMP and tank. These armored vehicles, left behind as clear evidence of the failed Russian mechanized assault, became trapped in the area. Russian soldiers did not dare to abandon their vehicles. While FPV drone defenses successfully halted the mechanized attack, successive drone strikes with high explosive payloads completely disabled the Russian armored vehicles one by one. For Ukrainian forces, vehicles have always been the top priority. Once the vehicles are destroyed, the soldiers are left with nowhere to escape and become exposed targets in the open. What do you think? Can Russian forces adapt to this drone-dominated battlefield, or are such losses now inevitable? You can support us by liking and commenting on the video. A Russian soldier riding a motorcycle suddenly encountered a Ukrainian FPV drone and immediately tried to escape. When his motorcycle got stuck in the mud, he jumped off and began to run. The drone maneuvered quickly and closed in on him. Out in the open field with no place to hide, the soldier became an easy target. With nowhere left to escape, he was locked in by the approaching drone. Do you think a soldier left completely exposed in open terrain has any chance of surviving such an FPV attack? What tactics can be used in modern warfare to prevent such situations? This is the Pokrovsk sector. Drone operators from the 414th Unmanned Strike Aviation Brigade were scanning an abandoned town for Russian positions. As the FPV drone searched through the ruins, it suddenly spotted a Russian soldier running across the open ground and immediately moved in to strike. The soldier had no chance to escape the attack. Do you think soldiers still have a chance of survival against FPV drones? Share your thoughts in the comments. This time, a Ukrainian FPV drone locks onto a Russian soldier standing in the middle of the road. As the drone races toward him, the soldier opens fire in panic, but fails to hit the target. Seconds later, the drone slams directly into him. This is the Lyman sector. In the dense forests of Lyman, where Russian soldiers once believed they were safe, they are now being picked off one by one. At this point, where can a soldier even hide when drones see everything? Moving in groups of one or two, often disoriented and unsure of what to do next, Russian soldiers on the front line fight a daily battle just to survive the constant threat of drones. A Russian UAZ military vehicle on the logistics route became the target of a fiber optic drone. By bypassing signal jammers, the drone launched a direct attack and successfully hit the driver's compartment of the vehicle. A large group of Russian soldiers riding on top of a vehicle came under attack while trying to reach their positions. Exposed in the open, all 10 soldiers instantly became clear targets for the Ukrainian drone. A Russian soldier was targeted by drones while going to the toilet. A drone struck the soldier who tried to escape. He tries to escape at the last moment, but fails. The Russian soldier stood still to avoid the approaching drone, but this turned out to be his biggest mistake. This soldier hiding in the ruins was completely unarmed. He threw stones to stop the drone, but it had no effect. What do you think about all these FPV drone attacks? It seems like drones are now controlling the entire war, the entire front line. However, Russian forces have not yet fully developed a defense against drones. Or is such a defense too costly? By the way, Your comments on the video and liking the video give us a huge morale boost. We look forward to your support in this regard. The Russian soldier, noticing the drone following him, immediately began running and entered the nearest building where he could hide. Now trapped, the soldier came under attack. The soldier's location was completely destroyed by 2 consecutive attacks. Here, a Russian soldier was riding a motorcycle in the Donetsk region and was unaware of the unmanned aerial vehicle following him. Ukraine's suicide bomber drone quickly attacked the Russian soldier. The soldier was still unaware that a drone was following him before it hit him. A Russian soldier who had stopped to rest alone was detected by Ukrainian forces. As he adjusted his helmet and checked his gear, he was observed by the drone for a long time. Why do you think Russian soldiers constantly roam the front lines alone? Is this a tactical attack, or are they just aimlessly sent soldiers? While all this was happening, the attack drone had already begun its approach. When the soldier finally noticed the rapidly closing drone at the very last moment, it was already too late to escape. The target was identified as a Russian R-330 ZEGTEL electronic warfare complex. Shortly after its detection, the Ukrainian Shark UAV guided an M142 HIMARS strike onto the system, completely destroying it near the village of Borisivka in Russia's Belgorod region. The Ukrainian Signum Battalion carried out attacks that disrupted Russian logistics shipments and military communications in the Sumy and Lyman regions. Military antennas were destroyed, and military vehicles were also targeted. What is noteworthy is that Russian soldiers left their military equipment and vehicles completely defenseless. Here is another military vehicle completely destroyed by drones. Hundreds more vehicles like this are being destroyed by Ukrainian forces. Another Russian soldier was spotted hiding around abandoned houses. An FPV drone was immediately sent to attack his location. 2 unmanned aerial vehicles carrying high explosives successfully attacked the Russian soldier. A Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet carried out high-precision GBU-39 strikes against Russian assault forces in the Kharkiv region near the city of Vovchansk. The targets included buildings used as Russian command centers. The strikes resulted in the loss of many Russian soldiers. The Russian soldier, who was attacked by a drone, panicked and jumped into a nearby water well. However, even doing so did not save him from the drone attack. Look closely at the current attack. A Ukrainian drone searching for targets along the riverbank detects an underground hole. This is where Russian soldiers are hiding. It is impossible to tell that this place is a shelter because it is so well camouflaged. However, it was discovered when a Russian soldier was being followed. Russian forces have now begun constructing quite different shelters to hide from drones and various attacks. Despite all efforts, the well-camouflaged shelters could not escape becoming targets for drones. Ukrainian operators conducted meticulous search operations, locating and eliminating Russian soldiers' positions one by one. The unmanned aerial vehicle carefully tracks the Russian soldier, waiting for the right moment. Once it finds a suitable position, it releases the explosive. Moments later, the bomb detonates above the soldier and shrapnel strikes him. Ukrainian fiber-optic FPV drones, operated by the Ghost of Khortytsia Battalion of the Karadag Brigade, part of the National Guard of Ukraine, successfully destroyed Russian equipment in the Kupiansk direction. Ukrainian forces managed to infiltrate Russian artillery positions and neutralized multiple artillery units in a series of precise strikes. Do you think drone warfare has already replaced traditional artillery as the most decisive weapon on today's battlefield? Share your thoughts in the comments. Here, a Russian unmanned ground vehicle is being destroyed by an FPV drone. Ukrainian forces encountered a very interesting incident. They discovered dozens of anti-tank mines laid out on the road. Immediately, bombs were dropped from an unmanned aerial vehicle to destroy these mines. The bombs dropped on the mines caused them to ignite and explode. These mines were most likely going to be placed on roads, but due to the intensity of the fighting in the Donetsk region, Russian soldiers abandoned the mines and fled. With winter now settling in, the dynamics on the front lines have shifted dramatically. Frozen ground allows drones, both aerial and ground-based, to move with far greater stability. FPV drones, in particular, benefit from clearer air, reduced heat distortion, and less dust, giving them noticeably higher accuracy compared to the summer months. At the same time, snow-covered terrain makes it much harder for Russian troops to remain concealed. The white landscape increases the effectiveness of thermal cameras, rendering many traditional camouflage techniques nearly useless. Meanwhile, reports suggest that Russian forces are preparing a major offensive before heavy snowfall begins. Such a large-scale operation will serve as a critical test for both sides' drone countermeasures and electronic warfare capabilities. Harsh winter temperatures also affect battery performance, limiting flight times for both FPV and reconnaissance UAVs. This means battlefield decisions must be faster, more precise, and better coordinated than ever before.